My recent trip to Cambridge in December 2025, I booked on a tour and just had a good mooch around the city. There's a total of 31 colleges that make up the university. This is the open market. And right ahead there is Great St Mary's Church, which when they're open for visitors you can go up to the top of the tower, and take in the views. I think it's about £6 for an adult. This was filmed on the 1st of December. But even though it was out of season, it was still quite busy, I found. So I'd booked a tour on the King's College, which I'll film later in this video, and this is a view from the river. There's one of Simu's billowing willow trees, and some people taking a tour on the punt boats on the River Cam. Different transport you can get around, but it's easy to walk. Good restaurants, even proper spiffing food. This was Trinity College, which I didn't get in, so I just managed to take pictures from the doorway. That is Sir Isaac Newton's tree where he dropped the apple, or a descendant of the tree. The botanical gardens had closed early, so I didn't manage to get in. This was one of the main places I wanted to visit, was the Eagle pub. It's famed for the RAF leaving their notes on the ceiling, but also it's where Watson and Crick in 1953 announced their discovery of how DNA was formed and made life. To get in the pub, it was all booked up, so I managed to get a table right in the fireplace for one, and ordered a pie because I felt a bit guilty filming over people's heads. But it was really nice to soak up the atmosphere, look at all the names, and think about those young airmen all those years ago, who came back and who didn't. But yeah, fascinating, that single room at the back of the pub, how the ceiling was decorated over, and then years later they uncovered it, and now it's a grade 2 listed building. But yeah, full of meaning and history. And there's my pie. is Sedgwick Museum of Earth Sciences. It's free to enter, but there's a donation box there. I enjoy things like this. Which boy or young boy doesn't get fascinating with dinosaurs? But there's a lot of minerals there, etc. And I did see a lot of school children doing sort of quizzes and following like a treasure trail inside. So if you want somewhere on a rainy day to occupy people for a couple of hours, it's a great choice. This is Queen's College, one of the ones that was free to enter, and one of the ones I felt had a really good garden. That's the mathematical bridge, or simply known as the wooden bridge. These are the gardens in the Queen's College. They also have a really fine chapel, which is there straight ahead. What's interesting is the students have to stay on their sort of campus. They eat there, sleep there. They're not allowed to have part-time jobs because it's felt that that would interfere with their studies, and then they compete with other colleges, so it's very competitive. But big lectures are all done together, so even though they're at different colleges, their exams and things like that are all the same. But I felt Queen's College was different because of the red bricks. It just seemed a different date or different design. But apparently in this college, every decade they build a new building or do something, you know, just to keep expanding and keep growing. This is in the chapel. You just see on the palm tree on the left, the banana fruit's just starting to grow. But unfortunately it's winter, so I don't think it's gonna make it. Right, King's College. So this is the tour I booked on, and I was lucky enough to share the tour with Mr. and Mrs. Bob from Canada. So I hope you're enjoying watching some superior photography, Bob. I felt the gardens in here weren't as good as some of the other colleges, but the architecture and the chapel were amazing. And don't forget the windows. Also in the grounds of King's College is the shrine and memorial to Zu Simu, the Chinese poet. Apparently over the years the students get up to capers where they climb on the roof of the building and put traffic cones on the spires and things like that. And then there's a conspiracy of silence and the teachers have to resolve the issue. That's the famous FITZWILLIAM bakery. The oldest church in Cambridge. That's the Corpus clock. It does actually tell real time. When you get up close you can see the markers, but the illustration is about the inexorable movement of time in the universe. This is a FITZWILLIAM museum. Again, it's free to enter, but there's a donation box, and the only one area you have to pay is for the ancient Egyptian section. So all in all, I thought Cambridge was a great place to visit. I really enjoyed my 2 days there. Very compact, easy to get around, and history around almost every corner. Plenty of places to eat and go on the tours. I really enjoyed the punting tour and also getting into some of the colleges and museums. So yeah, highly recommend it, and you meet a lot of interesting people.